and welcome back to another video. This video is to update you on where I am currently in my pregnancy and share with you some of the things that were never shared with me about pregnancy. Little disclaimer, if you are part of my male following, you're probably not going to want to watch this video. I'm just going to give you the heads up now because it is very detailed about pregnancy and I'm sure there might be stuff that you don't want to hear about. But if you want to stay and watch, you're more than welcome to. You can never have too much knowledge. As you know, I am currently 18 weeks. I am in my second trimester, but we're going to run it back all the way to the first trimester, and I'm going to give you the rundown of exactly how it went for me. I personally had all of the symptoms that you could have. The only thing that did not happen to me is I did not vomit. I've never really been someone that vomits, whether out drinking, like it's very rare. If I get a stomach flu, I usually don't vomit, like extremely rare. I did get sick recently. I had food poisoning actually a year ago next week, and I did vomit. But before that, I swear it had been around 10 plus years. I want to say I cracked it down to 13 years. I'm just not a person that does vomit. However, I did have nausea, and I had nausea every single day. And the only thing that would cure my nausea is eating. So I actually ended up putting on 8 pounds, even though looking at me, you would never know because I still don't have a belly and we're almost 20 weeks. So I don't know where little baby is, but somewhere in there. I did have sore breasts, and I did end up getting acne, which nobody really talks about. Everyone talks about this beautiful pregnancy glow that I have not seen yet, but I swear all my friends are like, you're glowing, like all this and that. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to cover up all the pimples that I'm getting. Like, I feel like I'm in high school again. You get acne, by the way. If you had skin issues in high school, there's a really good chance that you're going to break out throughout your entire pregnancy, and there's nothing you can do about it. So be ready for that, because the one thing I promised myself that I would never do to my children is lie to them and tell them that acne ends after high school or when you grow out of your teens, because that is not the case. I think that in my entire life, I had clear, perfect skin with no breakouts for like 5 months of my life. I've always had like a random, pimple like here and there, and it's probably going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't treat it. You can't use salicylic acid, you can't use benzoyl peroxide, you can't use retinols, tretinoin, none of it. So you kind of just got to wean it out. What worked for me is making it out of the first trimester. I want to tell you, at 12 weeks, all of my symptoms magically disappeared, and then I was left terrified again until 16 weeks when I got my heartbeat checkup, because I just didn't feel pregnant at all. Instead of using like moisturizers and creams, I ended up using coconut oil every single night before I went to bed, just because my skin was so dry, and I think that that's what made my skin break out. All the hormones kind of like changing the way your skin is. You're either going to get super oily, super dry, and in my situation, I was very dry. So I was just caking on the coconut oil, and I'm one of those people that coconut oil, like the all organic, does not make me break out at all. I don't know why. I've been using it for years. You've probably seen me talk about it in past videos. It's good for me. If you want to give it a shot, I recommend it, but there's really nothing you can do for pregnancy acne. I am sorry to be the one to tell you. Another thing that nobody told me about was broken capillaries. So I've always had like a couple broken capillaries come up on my chest, but I always just got them lasered. When I tell you, they are all over my chest now. Like, I cannot wait to give birth because I'm going right in to zap them. They're everywhere, and no one told me about that. I ended up like seeing my chest and being like, what is wrong? And went on Google. And of course, if you're prone, you're going to get them. So I'm one of the unlucky ones. You can kind of manage those by staying out of the sun, which I do anyways. I mostly self-tan, which you are allowed to do during pregnancy. Just make sure to run it by your specific doctor first. More than likely, they're going to approve it. I was extremely tired in my first trimester all the time. Like, I would wake up very early. Your body, by the way, totally changes your clock, like your sleep cycle. And it's crazy because I used to need 8 to 9 hours of sleep, and now I have to, like, my body is set for 5 hours. Like, I wake up and I have to force myself back to sleep in order to get those extra couple hours. I don't know if my body's training me to be prepared for lack of sleep or what, but just be ready for that because that's most likely coming. When I finally did hit my 12-week scan, I was so excited because I did the extra, the NIP test. I think that's what it's called, the NIPT. I don't know the specific science words for it, but I did take that and everything was beautiful. Everything was perfect. Everything was smooth. So I was so excited. And then 6 days later, I kid you not, 12 weeks, 6 days later, I spotted. I completely lost it. I was in tears. I was crying. I overwhelmed poor Ken because when I worry, I worry. And that's not a secret. He'll be the first one to tell you. All my friends will too. I panicked. I messaged every single person that I knew that had ever been pregnant and asked them if they had an issue. And the consensus was about that 50-50 had it. And then 50% didn't. So I ended up calling my doctor, and actually I didn't even speak with my doctor. I spoke with the nurse, and the nurse was like, that's normal. And for me, I'm like, that's not normal. Like, I don't know. My periods have always been like kind of normal. I mean, on or like they're off like by a couple days, nothing crazy, but spotting was never a thing for me ever. So, you know, obviously you think the worst right away, and apparently it is kind of common. So if you do end up in a situation where you are spotting, don't panic yet. I was told monitor it for 3 days. If the bleeding gets heavier, call them back and, you know, they'll tell me what to do from there. But most likely it was going to stop, and then I would have brown discharge for a couple days. It stopped that night. So I had brown discharge for a couple days, and then it went away. So thankfully that was done. However, I still had the utmost like nerve feelings until I went for my 16-week checkup. On top of that, I don't know if it was part of the symptoms or if I was nervous or what the case was, but I had some stomach issues on my 14th week. So you can imagine, you know, with the spotting, and then I was great for a week, and then issues again. Like, I was just so nervous for my 16-week appointment, and everything ended up being beautiful. The heartbeat was 144 beats per minute, and I think I cried in the room, if I remember correctly. And the doctor's like, it's okay. Like, everything is great. Like, baby's already doing somersaults, so everything's good, but it is very nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. Fast forwarding to now. So now that I am, you know, in my second trimester, things are very much different from the beginning of my second trimester. Now I'm dealing with headaches, which is come and go. I find that if I drink a ton of water, and I'm talking I drink about 1.5 gallons a day, that I don't get them as often. But if I miss that mark, like even if I do 3/4 of a gallon, it's not enough. I get a headache. And I'm also still dealing with sore breasts. Like, I'm assuming they're still growing. I don't know where the belly's growing, but we're still working with that general region. I am starting to get tired by midday again, which sucks because I was so tired in my first trimester. Like, I can't even tell you. All I wanted to do was sleep. And now I'm finding it hard to fall asleep. And then when I finally do fall asleep, I'm waking up and I'm extremely tired, so I'll want to go back to sleep for like an hour or so. And then when I get up, I'm fine, I'm rested, ready to go for the day. And about 5 hours in, I'm exhausted, like so bad that I want to take a nap. However, I've been trying to fight that and not nap. So if I usually make it past that like 1 or 2 hours where I'm just so tired and I skip that nap, I can make it till nighttime, like, and I'll be fine at nighttime and I'm not tired. It's the weirdest thing, but trying to, you know, adjust my body to it because I just don't want to be sleeping all the time and then making it harder for me to fall asleep at night, and you kind of get the picture. And then also my skin is finally clearing up, which I'm so excited about. I only have like a couple breakouts and they're pretty manageable, but my first trimester, I thought that was going to be the dead giveaway for everybody that I knew. Like, I didn't even think about the alcohol because I had already kind of been over drinking alcohol prior to that point, so I'd already cut back. So nobody actually really said anything. I think there was like 1 or 2 people that called me out, but they really wasn't anything. But my skin, I was like, that's going to be a dead giveaway. Because I was broken out everywhere and I just couldn't even, like, they were coming everywhere. It wasn't even like on my chin, which you would normally get during, you know, your monthly cycle. It was my forehead, it was around my eyes, my nose, like, I could not hide it. And then you have Ken who's like, I don't even see a pimple. And you're like, they're everywhere, pick one. But yeah, I'm glad that that phase is over, but I hear it does come back in the 3rd trimester, so I am waiting patiently for that. Can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait till the whole journey is done so I can laser my capillaries and get a really intense facial of some sort. I'm waiting for that moment. So that's all I have for you guys today on my 18-week update. As we go along, I'm going to try to do these weekly. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows if I'll be feeling sick and skip one? I don't really know, but my plan is from this point moving forward, weekly updates. And then don't forget to stick around on my Instagram at Brittany Oldehoff or my TikTok at Brittany Oldehoff. Or you can even go to Ken's at Ken Bradley Fit when we post our gender reveal. I'm so excited and I'm looking forward to it. I hope you will subscribe and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys!